how we turn our negative into a positive. If you are really that disappointed with the way that you look and you just can't seem, you've got body dysmorphia and you're looking in the mirror and you just can't seem to see yourself the way everyone else sees you, then change what you feel like. And what I mean by that is get interested in new things, learn some new things, learn how to cook food that you like and start doing that. If you like burgers, learn the healthiest way to make your burger. Learn how to make your own pizza. The foods that you would normally go out and get that are maybe comfort foods or whatever. Now, you shouldn't be eating them all the time, but if you are eating them, why not make them for yourself? Could be fun, could teach you something new, could build a little confidence, and also, it's never been like a skill or a practice that other people hate. If you know how to make food, that's usually a good thing. Ask Austin. I made him some bangarang breakfast tacos this morning. Can I get a hallelujah?
A hallelujah.
There it is. My number one suggestion on changing the way you feel is to volunteer. It's very hard to feel bad about yourself when you're doing something of service for another person or for an animal. Pro tip, animal shelters are always looking for dog walkers. It is so much fun to go and walk puppies and help out an animal shelter. Another pro tip for volunteering, help out the young at heart. There are retirement communities with hilarious members of the older generation that would love to talk to you and tell you stories or play board games. And hear your stories. I'm sure they'd love to learn about YouTube because they have no idea, I promise you that. My next tip on changing the way you feel about yourself is learning new things. As you saw in my blacksmithing video, I really get amped when I learn how to do something new. So do things that help you build self-confidence. Get active. Go on hikes with your friends. Go to yoga. Go on a bike ride. Go on a walk and see what you see. Like, there are things that you can do to not focus on the way you look and change the way you feel. It's very hard to talk bad about yourself when you know that you're doing all you can to be an open, of service, kind individual. All right? So I want to hear about what you're doing too. I like that stuff. Probably the last way I would say to change the way you feel is don't assume and don't isolate. No one has ever said that being skinny and pretty makes you happy and fulfilled. All right? That is not the truth. Being a well-rounded, good friend with excellent moral character is the way to feel fulfilled and happy. I spent the majority of my life feeling ugly, and so I had to make sure that I felt like an amazing person and that I wanted to spread that magic. Everyone has their own struggle, even though it might not look like yours. Some people are super skinny and they want to gain weight. Some people have big boobs and you think they would love them, but they would love for people to notice anything else about them, all right? We don't know what other people's struggle is until we show them compassion. Number 5. This is the one that I strongly practice, and I guess I'm practicing right now. Stop complaining about an ideal and change it. I don't know if you realize this, but you guys disrupted culture. You took kids that were making YouTube videos in their bedroom and made them more influential than movie stars. That was you. Your interest, your voice did that. So realize how big your voice is. H&M and Dove have started doing a lot more diverse body campaigns, showing you that not everybody looks the same, that there are different shapes and sizes of people, and that's beautiful. So I would encourage you to use your social media. If you see a campaign for a clothing brand you really like, but you think the girl is too skinny, write them, comment, let them know, all of you, that you would very much like to see some more diverse body types in their clothing. Right? Pretty simple thing to do that could have a huge impact on how people start booking models for their talent. And not only that, but how models treat their own bodies in hopes of getting campaigns. Another thing you can do, somebody asked me, and I loved this question, somebody asked me, do you think that schools should have a more active part in body positivity? I absolutely do, but here's my real opinion on that. I think schools should talk about body positivity, 100%, but I think it starts with you, the students. I think that the powers that be, any higher authority in anything, takes notice when we the people take an active role in changing it. So I wouldn't wait for a school to start talking about body positivity or form a club for me. I would form it myself. I would get my friends together. I would figure out a really dope name for our posse. And I would say, hey guys, I really want to build a foundation of our posse and our friend group of encouraging body positivity. And here are the rules. We don't talk badly about ourselves in front of each other. If we go home and start talking about ourselves bad in the mirror or thinking those thoughts, we're going to ask ourselves, would I say this to my best friend? And why am I comparing myself to someone else instead of working on being the very best me? We're going to plan activities for our body and our mind to do together, like at least once a month, where we go to a cool exhibit at a museum that we can all talk about and share. Or we decide to read a book together that has a special meaning to us. Or we're all going to go to yoga together, or a dance class, or rollerblading. I don't care what it is. Be active with each other for your body and mind. Start your own posse. Show people what's important to you, because that's really how change happens. All of those things are making you more interesting, kinder, more thoughtful, substantial people. And that's really what I want to see, and that should really be the basis for any Friends Foundation. Those are the things that I do to combat my own challenge of body positivity, because it's been a struggle for me my whole life. It's much better now than it has ever been because of these things that I'm telling you that I also practice in my own life. But I also don't think it's just about like singing ourselves songs in the mirror or telling ourselves we're pretty every day. I think that that's a wonderful exercise, but I think there's a lot more questions about why we're putting so much stock into it and why we don't care about the other parts of ourselves so much. And I think about that a lot. I want to be a fulfilled, happy, interesting, kind, thoughtful, weird individual. And I want you to be too. Is that bad? In conclusion, here's what I think. When we spend so much time focusing on the outward versions of ourselves, we spend very, very little time focusing on the inwards. We become like those weird chocolate bunnies at Easter that look so solid and delicious, and then when you crack them open, it's just like a thin layer of chocolate that looks beautiful, but nothing on the inside, where you thought there'd be more chocolate or marshmallow or caramel. There's nothing. There's just empty space. I don't want to be a pretty chocolate Easter bunny with nothing going on the inside. Another thing to think about is how selfish it is to the people who love us. When someone who loves you looks at you and tells you how beautiful you are or how amazing they think you are, and we say nothing, or we continue to hate on ourselves, or we have that thought inside that says, no, I'm not, we're calling the people who love us liars, or that their compliments don't mean anything to us. That's horrible. If you have a little sister or cousin or even a friend that you talk this way about yourself in front of, realize that they're probably taking it in and comparing themselves to you now, just like my friend did with me. And it's a horrible, horrible experience to think that you are just saying something about yourself and find out that it has affected someone you love. People that truly love us see the whole package, what we look like, who we are, all of those things, and they come to appreciate us in a way that some of us don't appreciate ourselves. So when they tell you something, believe them. Don't make them a liar. Okay? That's just a promise we're going to make each other. When someone we know loves us gives us a compliment, we're going to work on believing them. Because sometimes we have trouble seeing ourselves, so we have to look through the eyes of the people who love us and trust them. All right? So don't be selfish and call your loved ones liars. And don't be an empty chocolate bunny. Sorry, Mom and Dad.